Google's going to announce their gaming service next week, but we've got a few more details today. What's up, everybody? Brad here. And next week at the Game Developer Conference, Google's going to be holding a keynote, and they started showing off some teaser videos and all that good stuff. But we know Project Stream is coming to a reality, and they're going to start talking about how they're bringing that product to market, meaning how you can actually start paying for it or using it on your device at home. So we've been hearing a lot about this. First off, we saw that there's a patent for their new controller, which, as you kind of dig into it a little bit more, the one thing that I don't like about the patent, well, more specifically the controller design, is on the Xbox controller, you have the joysticks or thumbsticks, whatever you want to call them. They're not on the same plane, right? The D-pad is over here, and then they're not on the same plane. And if you look at Google's drawing, it's more like the PlayStation controller where they are on that same plane. Having them set up like this, which Microsoft has done, it's much more ergonomic, at least for me. I know you can get used to it and adapt to it, and PlayStation users will be like, well, it's fine. And it more than likely is. But once you get used to that offset design, you tend to prefer it. But anyways, point aside, we've got Google's controller, which we already knew about. And then also announced this week is that Google's hiring the Assassin's Creed lead, Jade Raymond, is joining the Google family. Now, she's just a VP. We don't know what the VP of yet, but probably because they haven't announced the name of what Project Stream is going to be once it's a retail product. But I suspect, and it makes logical sense, right? She's working on this product, and she's going to help steer that ship for Google's gaming adventures. And so we've got that going on. And then also happening this week, Android Q. Google released the first beta in their next operating system. Now, this is obviously a mobile device thing, but one of the features that is buried inside of this new release is called Wi-Fi Performance Mode, but it's the description that gives it away. It says you can now request adaptive Wi-Fi in Android Q by enabling high performance and low latency modes. Pretty, it doesn't quite clear cut say what that's for unless you read the rest of the description, and then it exactly calls out why they're doing this. This will be of great benefit where low latency is important to the user experience, such as real-time gaming, active voice call, and other similar use cases. So what Google's doing here is they're baking in to Android Q their game streaming functionality. And what I mean by that is they've enabled this low latency mode for Wi-Fi. You don't have to connect the dots here. It's very obvious that this is related to Project Stream and Google streaming service. So what they're going to do is take, hopefully, all the Android devices out there and turn them into potential endpoints for the product. Smart, not completely unexpected. The challenge is, though, as we all know from Android perspective, to get Android Q onto every Android device isn't going to happen. It's actually going to happen on a very small subset of devices. So keep in mind that just because it's an Android Q doesn't mean it's coming to every device, because they've got to be updated, and more than likely it won't show up until everybody buys a new phone, which will take a long time. But the underlying technology is there for when it does start to trickle down to every single device. Now, another bit of information comes from my buddy Owen. Owen and I, fun fact, actually shared a hotel room at CES many years ago, but he uncovered in the latest version of Chrome that it natively is going to support the Nintendo Switch controllers. Kind of a neat thing here. So you'll be able to use your Nintendo Switch controllers with the Chrome browser, which will obviously work with Project Stream. Kind of neat. And this is just kind of putting a few more pieces of the puzzle together as we watch Google's strategy for Project Stream materialize right in front of us. We're obviously going to learn a lot more next week, but kind of keep these things in mind as you're listening to the keynote being announced. And as always, I'll keep you guys updated on everything else we're hearing. And once Google pulls back the curtains, we will do a deeper dive into how their product compares to what Microsoft is working on, more than likely Sony, and also Amazon's.